Your body is aging every single day. But not for the reason most people think. Aging is not caused by birthdays. It is not caused by time passing. It is not even caused by genetics alone. Aging begins at the smallest level of life. Inside your cells. Inside your DNA. Every moment you are alive, your DNA is being damaged. From normal breathing. From digestion. From blood sugar spikes. From chronic inflammation. From emotional stress. From toxins in the air, water, and food. Scientists estimate that each cell in the human body suffers tens of thousands of DNA injuries every single day. And yet, most of the time you don't feel it. You wake up. You move. You think. You heal. Why? Because your body is not passive. It is constantly repairing itself. According to Dr. William Li, the human body is equipped with highly advanced DNA repair systems. Microscopic biological tools that patrol your genetic code, locate damage, and fix it before it turns into disease. This repair process is the difference between healthy aging and rapid decline. When DNA repair is efficient, cells stay functional. Inflammation remains controlled. Organs stay resilient. Immune defenses stay sharp. Cancer risk is reduced. But when DNA repair slows down, aging accelerates. Wrinkles deepen. Energy fades. Muscles weaken. Memory slips. Chronic disease appears. This is not random. This is biological cause and effect. Here is the critical truth most people never hear. DNA damage is unavoidable. DNA repair is optional. Your body never stops experiencing damage. But it can lose the ability to repair that damage efficiently. And when repair falls behind damage, aging speeds up. This is why two people of the same age can look and feel decades apart. One person's repair systems are still active. The others have gone quiet. This difference is not luck. It is regulation. Inside your cells are molecular switches that control repair, survival, and regeneration. These switches do not turn off because of age alone. They turn off because they stop receiving activation signals. One of the most important repair control systems involves enzymes known as sirtuins. Sirtuins act like guardians of your DNA. They detect damage. They stabilize fragile DNA strands. They coordinate repair. They protect cells under stress. They help cells survive longer. Sirtuins are deeply connected to longevity. When sirtuins are active, cells resist aging. When sirtuins are inactive, damage accumulates. Here is the problem. As we age, sirtuin activity naturally declines. Not because the body is broken, but because modern lifestyles fail to activate them. This is where the science becomes powerful. Your body does not need new genes. It needs the right signals. Genes are not commands. They are switches. And one of the strongest signals that controls these switches comes from food. Not calories. Not overeating. Not restriction. But specific natural compounds that communicate directly with your DNA. This field of science is known as nutrigenomics, how nutrients influence gene expression. Food does more than provide energy. It delivers information. Certain foods tell your body to store fat. Others tell it to inflame. Others tell it to repair. Some foods increase oxidative stress and DNA damage. Others activate repair pathways that slow biological aging. This is why diet matters more than most people realize. More than 80% of chronic disease risk is driven by lifestyle and environment, not inherited genes. That means aging is not something that simply happens to you. It responds to how you live, and especially to what you eat. Plants, in particular, produce powerful protective compounds to defend themselves from environmental stress. When humans consume these compounds, the same protection is transferred, at the cellular level. These natural molecules activate stress response pathways that strengthen DNA repair, reduce inflammation, and improve cellular survival. They do not force the body. They assist it. They do not override biology. They support it. This is not about living forever. It is about aging slower and healthier. It is about keeping repair ahead of damage. And this becomes increasingly important after midlife. Because with age, the balance shifts. Damage rises. Repair declines. Unless something intervenes. According to Dr. William Li, one particular food category stands out for its ability to activate DNA repair systems tied to longevity and disease resistance. Not a supplement. Not a drug. Not a synthetic compound. A real, whole food, rich in naturally occurring bioactives that directly influence cellular repair pathways. Understanding how this food works requires looking deeper into how these compounds activate sirtuins, support mitochondrial health, and reduce the kind of DNA instability that leads to accelerated aging. But one truth must be clear first. Aging is not simply wear and tear. It is a negotiation between damage and repair. And the outcome depends on which side you strengthen. As we move deeper into this conversation, something remarkable becomes clear. Your body is not fragile. It is not helpless. And it is certainly not designed to simply wear out with age. Inside every single cell, there are built-in repair systems that work around the clock to protect your DNA. These systems evolved over millions of years to defend you against damage from toxins, inflammation, radiation, and even the normal process of breathing and metabolism itself. The problem is not that these systems disappear with age. The problem is that they become silent. And modern life is very good at keeping them that way. Every day your DNA is attacked. Environmental pollutants, chronic stress, poor sleep, blood sugar spikes, excess visceral fat, and low-grade inflammation all create tiny breaks and errors in your genetic code. Scientists call this DNA damage, and it happens thousands of times per day in each cell. Normally, your body fixes this damage quickly. But when repair systems slow down, damage begins to accumulate. This is when aging accelerates. This is when chronic disease risk rises. And this is when the body begins to lose its resilience. What researchers have discovered is that one of the most important drivers of DNA repair is metabolic signaling. In other words, what your body senses from the foods you eat. Certain foods don't just provide calories or vitamins. They send instructions. They tell your cells whether to focus on growth or on repair. And this is where the science becomes truly fascinating. One of the most powerful DNA protective systems in the body involves enzymes known as sirtuins and AMPK. These are often called longevity switches because of their role in cellular maintenance, stress resistance, and repair. When these systems are activated, cells shift into a repair-first mode. They prioritize fixing DNA, recycling damaged components, reducing inflammation, and improving mitochondrial function. But here's the key point. These systems are diet-responsive. They are not turned on by medication alone. They are not reliably activated by supplements in isolation. They respond most powerfully to specific natural compounds found in food. And one food in particular stands out because of how strongly it activates DNA repair pathways while simultaneously reducing inflammation and oxidative stress. This food has been studied extensively for its ability to influence gene expression. Not by changing your DNA itself, but by changing how your genes behave. This is known as epigenetics. Epigenetics is the science of turning genes on and off. And it is one of the most exciting fields in modern aging and cancer research. What researchers have found is that certain bioactive compounds can unlock protective genes that may have been dormant for years. They wake up repair pathways. They strengthen cellular defenses. And they help stabilize DNA so mutations are less likely to take hold. Now, let's talk about what this food actually does at a cellular level. First, it reduces oxidative stress. Oxidative stress is like rust forming inside your cells. It damages DNA, proteins, and cell membranes. By neutralizing free radicals, this food reduces the burden on your DNA repair machinery, allowing it to work more efficiently. Second, it reduces chronic inflammation. Inflammation is a major driver of DNA damage. When inflammation becomes constant, repair systems are overwhelmed. This food contains natural anti-inflammatory compounds that calm the immune response without suppressing it. Third, and this is critical, it activates autophagy. Autophagy is the body's internal recycling program. It clears out damaged cellular parts so healthy components can take their place. When autophagy is active, cells function better, repair faster, and age more slowly. Autophagy is also tightly linked to DNA repair. When damaged cells are cleaned up efficiently, genetic stability improves. What makes this food unique is that it doesn't force the body into an artificial state. It works with your biology, not against it. And this is especially important for adults over 50. As we age, aggressive interventions often backfire. The body responds better to gentle, consistent signals that restore balance. This food sends exactly that kind of signal. Studies have shown that people who regularly consume foods rich in these bioactive compounds show improvements in markers related to cellular aging, metabolic health, and inflammation. Not overnight. Not dramatically in a single week. But steadily, sustainably, and safely. Another important benefit of this food is how it supports mitochondrial health. Mitochondria are the energy factories of your cells. They also play a direct role in DNA repair. When mitochondria are damaged, they produce more free radicals, which increases DNA damage. This creates a vicious cycle. By improving mitochondrial efficiency, this food helps break that cycle. Better energy production. Less oxidative stress. More effective DNA repair. And here's something most people don't realize. DNA repair is not just about preventing disease. It's about preserving function. It affects how sharp your mind feels, how strong your muscles remain, how resilient your immune system is, and how well your body responds to stress. This is why people who support these pathways often report subtle but meaningful changes: clearer thinking, better recovery, more stable energy, and a sense that their body is working with them again. Now, you might be wondering why this food isn't talked about more openly. The reason is simple. It doesn't fit into a quick fix model. It doesn't promise instant results. It doesn't override biology. It restores it. And that kind of change doesn't make headlines, but it changes lives. In the next part of this video, we'll reveal what this food is, how to consume it correctly, how often it should be eaten, and what mistakes to avoid so you don't cancel out its benefits. Because the way you eat it matters just as much as eating it at all. When you understand that, you don't just support DNA repair. You give your body the conditions it needs to age with strength instead of decline. Now that the science is clear, the question becomes practical. How do you actually turn on your body's DNA repair systems? It starts with the right food. Not just any food, but foods rich in polyphenol, flavonoids, and other bioactive compounds that directly communicate with your cells. These compounds are signals. They tell your DNA repair machinery, activate, protect, heal. They do not force your body. They guide it. One of the most potent categories is berries: blueberries, raspberries, blackberries, and cranberries. Deeply colored berries are loaded with anthocyanins, the pigments responsible for red, blue, and purple hues. Anthocyanins neutralize free radicals, reduce oxidative stress, and enhance sirtuin activity, giving DNA repair enzymes a vital boost. Even a single daily serving, about a cup, can start sending these signals. Fresh, frozen, or lightly blended, the cellular impact is measurable. Next, consider green tea. Rich in catechins, green tea enhances mitochondrial function, reduces oxidative stress, and supports the repair of DNA strands damaged by normal metabolism. 2 to 3 cups per day is sufficient to activate the protective pathways without overloading the system with caffeine. Then there's dark cocoa or high cocoa chocolate. Flavonols in cocoa improve blood flow, calm inflammation, and optimize cellular energy production. They support mitochondria, which are directly linked to DNA repair. A small daily portion, around 20 to 30 grams of 70% cocoa or higher, can provide a measurable cellular benefit. Another crucial category is cruciferous vegetables: broccoli, kale, cabbage, and Brussels sprouts. These foods support detoxification enzymes, reduce DNA-damaging compounds in the body, and activate repair pathways. Importantly, they also work synergistically with polyphenol from berries and tea to amplify protective effects. Timing matters too. DNA repair and autophagy, the body's cellular recycling program, work best during periods of metabolic rest. Intermittent fasting, or simply extending the overnight fast, gives repair systems the chance to function without constant energy intake. Sleep is another non-negotiable. During deep sleep, your cells engage in the most intensive DNA repair. No supplement, no superfood can replace high-quality sleep. But combining restorative sleep with the right foods magnifies the effect exponentially. Consistency is the secret. Eating these foods occasionally helps a little. Eating them daily, consistently, sends a repeated, reliable signal to your DNA repair machinery. That is what creates real, measurable change in aging trajectories. It is also important to remember what these foods do not do. They do not erase age. They do not guarantee immortality. They do not override the rest of your lifestyle. What they do is support the body in repairing itself. They reduce the accumulation of damage. They calm inflammation. They optimize energy production. They improve resilience. And that is exactly what slows biological aging. It shifts the balance in your favor. People who adopt this approach often notice subtle changes first. Sharper thinking, clearer focus, more steady energy throughout the day. Recovery from exercise becomes easier. Stress feels less damaging. Over weeks and months, the changes compound. Wrinkles and age-related fatigue may appear less pronounced. Metabolic markers improve. Immune function stabilizes. This is not magic. It is biology. And it is measurable. The power of food to influence DNA repair is now supported by decades of research in longevity, metabolic health, and cancer prevention. It is one of the reasons why populations with diets rich in plant bioactives consistently show longer lifespans and lower chronic disease incidence. The final step is simplicity. Daily servings of polyphenol-rich foods, green tea, cruciferous vegetables, and moderate cocoa. good sleep, regular periods of metabolic rest, a balanced, low-inflammatory diet. Combined, these steps send a clear, repeated, and effective signal to your cells. A signal that repair is a priority. A signal that survival and resilience are important. A signal that aging is negotiable. And perhaps most importantly, these strategies are gentle, sustainable, and accessible. You do not need extreme diets, expensive supplements, or stressful regimens. You just need to work with biology, not against it. Over time, the results are cumulative. Damage that would otherwise accumulate begins to be repaired. Cells function better. Tissues stay healthier. The body becomes more resilient to stress, inflammation, and age-related decline. This approach transforms how you age. Not overnight, but steadily, naturally, and scientifically. It is a daily partnership between your biology and the signals you provide. Remember, every bite is a message. Every drink is a message. Every habit is a message. The cumulative effect of these messages determines the pace of aging and the resilience of your DNA. By sending the right signals consistently, you are not just slowing aging. You are activating your body's natural repair systems, the very systems that control health span, longevity, and resilience. And that is the true power of this approach. A single food, chosen wisely and eaten consistently, can activate DNA repair, reduce damage, and help your body age more gracefully. When combined with sleep, metabolic rest, and a balanced diet, the results compound, supporting healthier, longer, and more vital years ahead. This is the science of aging you can influence. This is the biology you can harness. And this is the path to supporting your DNA repair every single day. Aging is not inevitable decline. It is a conversation between damage and repair. By providing the right signals through food, sleep, and lifestyle, you ensure repair stays ahead of damage. Your body becomes more resilient. Your cells function better. Your DNA stays protected. And the journey of graceful, healthy aging is no longer a mystery, it is entirely in your control.